Hello and welcome back to My Mom's Basement, presented by Barstool Sports, and another My Mom's Basement She-Hulk recap on the penultimate episode of She-Hulk, or so we think, because there are 9 episodes in a season. Clem, as you like to point out, 9 episodes, that's a bit sus. Is there a 10th secret episode? We don't know.
Bob
But this is
Fox.
the 8th episode, yeah.
Oh, look at the growth of my boy right here. He started to, put on his thinking cap before every episode and after every episode. We're recording this after the Mets lost game one, and just hear you throw the secret episode out there washed away a whole lot of pain. And penultimate makes sense. I didn't even realize it was the penultimate episode. I thought we were episode 7. It does make perfect sense that a lot of stuff happened last episode. It was
A
a lot.
lot of stuff happened, and I thought it was like far and away the best episode of the series, in a series that you and me have been very positive on, especially compared to the rest of the internet. We've been pretty much enjoying it weekly. The last 2 weeks, kind of a down slide
Yep,
of
definitely.
the show. Wasn't never got bad, I didn't think, but it didn't get as enjoyable as it was. And then we realized they were just saving it for the Daredevil episode, because that's what this was. It's the Daredevil episode. And even though it's She-Hulk's show, don't forget whose show it truly is. This was Matt Murdock's show, and he stole it.
Stole the goddamn show. I hope it would be great if she said that like some point during the episode. Like, is this guy stealing my show right now? Because he did it. We're not Daredevil people. Like we're pro Daredevil. We're not anti Daredevil. Don't cancel us because we're against the Blinds or anything. That's not true. That's KFC. KFC versus the Blindos was a legitimate rivalry. I don't even know if those blogs survived the Dev Nest.
Let's hope not.
But an old school barstool battle. But Matt Murdock, as everyone who has told us from the shows, absolute awesome character, and I'm very excited to have him in the MCU now full time. Again, he fucking in Spider-Man. He stole the scene in Spider-Man, and that was a big time movie.
And he just catches the brick, and he's like, "I'm a very good lawyer."
I'm a very
That's
good
such
lawyer.
a good line, yeah. And he was just so smooth in this, and obviously he is a smooth operator. He gets right into those She-Hulk pants very quickly.
Our girl, too. Our girl, Jen, our girl, She-Hulk, whatever you want to say. Someone said to you, I believe, at Comic-Con, clapping those green cheeks.
Yeah. So I went to Comic-Con yesterday as we record this. New York Comic-Con. It's in town. And I saw a Daredevil. I was doing a little old school Barstool Man on the Street video. And I was like, Daredevil, how do you feel about being like maybe the biggest bachelor out there? Because in his show, I know he fucks in his show as well. This isn't anything new for our guy, Matt Murdock.
Oh, Matt Murdock fucks.
He fucks. So I said, how do you feel about that? He had a good costume, too. It's good Daredevil costume. Not MCU, like more comic book. He had red contacts in and shit. And he just said, I'm clapping those green cheeks. It's like, respect.
Respect.
I said, watch where you're going and enjoy your day.
This is how they could have really gotten us to watch that show, is being like, listen, he's going to fuck a lot of people. Like, shut up. Blind. I was going to have a question about blind guys and having sex, and,
Yeah.
Would
you could feel around?
Oh, no. I'm sure sex. I would actually say sex probably feels better for blind people, right? Because all the
senses,
other
definitely for Daredevil
the
and elevated superhero and elevated senses, definitely.
This is the kind of stuff.
He comes and She-Hulk's like, all right, calm down.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't even make it into bed if I was Daredevil, right?
Yeah, no.
Is Roman on this episode? No, we don't have any Roman sponsorship.
No sponsors, damn.
Roman, Matt Murdock must just have a stack of Romans. Like he's throwing, he's swiping before he even goes out to the bar, because he's like, I'm gonna come myself just seeing girls at the bar right now. Forget about actually getting into the bedroom.
No, he can't see girls at the bar.
Oh shit! As he hears girls at the bar, he's like, "Whoop, that sounds like a girl." Oh god.
Let's get into the episode. I don't have like notes like I usually do. I said to Clem before we start recording, but I think I could go through it free form because it was a good episode. I remember most of it. We kick things off with LeapFrog in the parking lot of like a Best Buy, Walmart type thing. 2 guys are stealing TV. He shows up and he's like, "Tonight I'm the guard frog," and he like tries to fight them a little bit. He does a little like toe kick that really made me laugh. And then he goes to take off in his jet propelled rocket boots, and they malfunction very quickly. They light on fire, and we realize he's telling this story to Jen. He's looking to get her as a client because he's suing the person who made the costume, who is the person that made the costume. Of course, it's Luke. Is it Luke Jacobson?
Yes. Good.
Luke.
It's a good name too. It sounds like a
It is.
designer, right?
It is. Luke Jacobson, the drip broker. And she's like, "Oh, this puts me in a fucking awkward spot. Like, he's making my gala dress right now. He made my super suit." So she goes to the boss. "Hey, can I get out of this?" He's like, "Absolutely not. This guy's a big client or whatever. His dad's a big client," which is, of course, like a classic. Like, his dad's a client. I liked LeapFrog. Not like he's obviously like a slimy guy. The whole superhero costume, and like we've mentioned last week, the week before, the boysification of the
Mm-hmm.
MCU, and that there's like just all these random superheroes all over the place, some of which are just nepotism babies that obviously his dad's like a rich guy, so he bought him a nice suit. I liked this. I like the whole LeapFrog storyline that kicked the episode into high gear.
We talk about how the influencer side of things with Titania and the dating apps and all that stuff, it does make it feel a little more real and straight up nepotism. My daddy's your daddy's law firm, so now you have to protect me. LeapFrog is a straight up bum in terms of just a human, but he's like, and it felt real. It felt
Yeah,
like an entitled prick who would get his suit made and has his own lair and all this kind of shit. Straight up bum. Do you think we find out who his dad is at some point? Do we find, is his dad some fucking, villain, rich person, or is it just a hey throwaway line? Just so you know, is this guy's coming from money, and that's why he's able to do the shit he does.
I thought throwaway line, but maybe his dad is Mr. Immortal or something like that. Like Mr. Immortal had a kid when he was young. I don't know. Like
I can
that's
see
just
that.
the one name that came to mind.
Luke Jacobson, by the way, I just looked this up. Went on, I don't even know whatever the Wikipedia is for Marvel, and here is what Luke Jacobson looks like in the comics. Little bit different. It looks like a
Oh,
Fabio, right?
he does look like Fabio. I didn't even know that he was a comic book character. He feels like a very modern, like She-Hulk oriented character.
Yeah, exactly. So I like our Luke Jacobson more. He has
Yeah.
it's a little more pizzazz to him. Now, like that's obviously comic books; they're just drawings. But our guy has some swagger. He had some swagger this whole fucking episode.
And she gets confronted by Jen. She's like, "This is super awkward, but like, can we settle this?" Like, he says that the suit was defective, wasn't supposed to light on fire, or whatever. He gets pissed at her right away. He's like, "How dare you question me?" Rips her dress up in front of her. "Get out of my office." They go to court over it. And who is his lawyer? It's Matt Murdock. He walks in. You had to know it was going to be Matt Murdock. When you know it's the Daredevil episode, I was like, "Oh shit, is this going to be Daredevil?" And as soon as he opens the door, you're like, "Fuck yeah."
I forgot that it was a Daredevil episode too, and then when he came in, I was like, "Oh shit, that's right, Matt Murdock." It
And
completely
this show
blindsided me.
has the feeling that like anyone can pop in any episode.
Yes,
And that's nice. Like people have pointed that out. It's very comic booky in that way. People like to shit on it for being like the woke new age show, but it is pretty loyal to comic books in the relationships, in dating life, like getting in the superhero's way. Like that's a staple of every Spider-Man comic out there. And they bring it into She-Hulk because that's also a staple of her comics. And
there's
you
a
sense
there's a
go ahead.
feeling of almost like the Royal Rumble too, where it's like,
Oh yeah.
who's it gonna be?
Yeah.
Oh, and it's like best
Wong,
case Wong,
Abomination,
Daredevil, but then
Daredevil, yeah.
you're even getting like what was that, Bambull or something like
Yeah.
that? Like that's the jobber that comes out as
And
like the
he is a
seventh.
comic character too. I didn't
Yeah,
even realize that, but he's like a jobber from the comics.
yeah, exactly. So I do appreciate that if that's a She-Hulk thing or it's something they do in this tier show moving forward. I like that kind of stuff personally.
Agreed. Absolutely. And I hope they do it more in the Marvel special presentations. We're not going to get into Werewolf by Night just yet, but I want more of those because you give someone a 45-minute show instead of just like a whole season. Some people didn't need a whole season. I feel like this is going to piss people off. Moon Knight might have been better as a Marvel special presentation. If I just saw like a 45-minute,
Mm-hmm.
like mind-bending memento type episode where I couldn't even figure it out, I might be more in on that character than I am after the whole thing. But that's a discussion for another day.
You would have got more Moon Knight in that 45-minute special than you got in the actual Moon Knight series. Again, we're not trying to piss
Miss
people off right
Marvel,
now.
another one where like that was such a good first two episodes and a good finale. Everything in the middle, I'm like, maybe a better 45-minute thing to kick that character off and serve as a prequel to the Marvels. Like that, it just made me rethink some things.
Or an hour and a half made for TV movie.
Yeah,
There's nothing wrong with that,
no,
right?
yeah, it doesn't
And
have to be 45. If it's
or
just
a
a little,
two-parter, a 45 two-parter where it's an hour and a half and you put it all together.
Absolutely. I think that's like Marvel kind of hickled with this special presentation idea. And the next one being a James Gunn holiday special. I mean, he's going to knock that out of the park. But She Hulk, this is her show. Let's not forget whose show this is, Clem. We go into the courtroom, and it's clear from the jump that there's like a little bit of chemistry between Matt Murdock and She-Hulk, even when they're arguing. And I think she looks at the camera early and she's like, "You feel this, right? Like, I'm not crazy." And he kind of gets one over on her right away, gets her client LeapFrog to admit that he filled the rocket boosters with like jet fuel and they weren't supposed to. He's like, "You didn't even read the instructions." The judge throws it out. They go to the bar, and this is when the connection really forms. He buys her a drink. They start talking, and then I think she's like, "Do you want to get out of here?" And he's like, "No, no, no, I got a client. I got to go attend to right now." And then she gets the call from LeapFrog. "Oh my God, there's someone after me." You see where this is going. It's She-Hulk and Daredevil. We saw Jen and Matt Murdock, but now it's She-Hulk and Daredevil. They get into a fight that ends in her using the episode 1 clap. She hits him because obviously he's got the hearing and whatnot. She blows his eardrums out. A rude move to end the fight, but you know what? It was a good fight while it lasted, and it's only going to last a short while because they got to team up against the real bad guys.
Yeah, two good like superheroes that actually want to help the world, right? There's not a lot
Yeah.
of gray in there. It's a lot of white instead of black or gray. I love that he lawyered the living fuck out of her. Like we haven't seen Jen just get her ass kicked on in the courtroom, and he just fucking. We're talking Sokovia Accords too. I always like.
I know, yeah. They mentioned that like those aren't a thing anymore. They got repealed or whatever, and it's like, oh shit. That's also an explanation for how there's all these random superheroes, right? That like it's not illegal for you to be a superhero, I guess.
Yeah, and I like. I also like how she's there during the fight, and she's like, "Are you pretending to be blind?" She's like, "Don't do that. You'll get canceled." Like, or did she say, "I'm gonna get canceled"? For
Yeah,
like
she's like, "That's very problematic."
Yeah, very problematic. Again, this show gets the time that it's even being broadcast for saying something like that. I don't even know if I can reference. All right, fuck it, I'm gonna say it. When KFC said that the blind people use their guiding eye dogs to ride them, that was a very funny fucking thing. All right, and Kevin will probably cancel. He said it today, but it was a funny thing. So we're gonna keep it in the basement, keep it in the YouTube. It was a funny thing. He probably canceled. It happened today, but I appreciate that this show realizes just saying that is like, oh, ooh, that's problematic.
Yeah, like she's like, "You're not pretending to be blind, right? Like you're really." He's like, "Yeah, no, I'm blind."
And I have to say it, and I'm sure it wasn't. They were probably laying it on pretty thick, but I said right off the bat, I'm like, I think he wants to bang Jen right now in the bar, so I'm happy I picked up on that.
Yeah,
our boy's horny. Our boy is a horny daredevil.
They go into that warehouse. That warehouse. I almost said that warehouse. That warehouse, and he gets a little hallway scene. And he was famous for hallway scenes in his show. And it looks like he's gonna get like another one where it's like a whole group comes in and they're about to fight him. He squares off, and Jen just comes down. She-Hulk smash, and she on top of all of them just like dismantles them, basically stomps on them.
And shout out to the henchmen versus goons, dialogue back and forth. That is something that has been debated probably in basements around the world for God knows how long. Bunch of nerds talking about it, and they brought it to the screen again. I don't understand how you just can't appreciate this show for stuff like that. That is
crazy.
Right out of our fucking brains. It's awesome.
It's Daredevil. Like one was just getting paid to be there, and one believes in the cause, right?
Yeah.
Henchmen believe in the cause. Goons are just getting paid to be there.
and I've never thought about it that way, but it's 1,000% right. Our guy Daredevil too. He beat some fucking ass there before Jen came in as the closer and just wiped everyone out.
His weapon, that stick that he could fucking like throw, it splits into two.
Yep.
Badass. Billy clubs, is that what those are?
I'm gonna go with you. I think Billy Clubs is right.
I think it's right.
Also, don't cancel us if Billy Club is some slur and it's a problematic thing with this too. Like I know I said Paddy Wagon once and someone got really
mad. Supposed to say that?
I don't think so. I don't know if it's an Irish thing.
You're getting canceled this episode. You're going through the gambit. That's the thumbnail. Clem canceled.
What should I do? Handcuffs or?
Yeah, that was good. They team up. They take down all of the goons and henchmen in the warehouse, and then they chill on the billboard. They talk for a little bit. He's like, I'm in New York for my clients, some special clients. I'll, make exceptions for them, and California for a client. I'm normally in New York. Obviously, Hell's Kitchen is where he operates out of. He's like, I'll buy you dinner next time you're in New York. How about that? She's like, or we could skip that, and then they just go home and fuck. And it's clear that he cared about Jen, which was nice. He's like the first guy all season that actually cared about Jen. And you think, all right, that was a good happy ending to the episode. Even she says it. She closes the door. She's like, kind of weird that you guys are still here. He does the Daredevil walk of shame.
Oh,
Hysterical visual.
dude,
Hysterical. Without the shoes on, too.
without the shoes on was absolutely perfect. And as someone that has been so far out of the game, living in the suburbs with kids, I forgot the walk of shame. It's always the best thing. The day after Halloween, or like that Halloween
Yes.
Saturday, was always the best. I think I used to tell people, like, if you see anyone on the street or in college, take a picture of the walk. It's like, oh, looks like fucking, it could be a She-Hulk you could see like walking the
Yeah.
street, right? It's like, oh, that princess had herself
Like Michael
a night.
Myers.
Yeah, Michael Myers walking back. Oh God.
My favorite was last year I went to like a little Halloween. It was like a Jersey City Halloween festival party thing on Halloween night. And just seeing like vape smoke come out of a Michael Myers mask was so funny. Michael Myers hitting a jewel.
And shout out to everyone who's been riding on Team Jen. Girl couldn't find a guy who actually wanted to blow her back out, and she found one. Well educated, a superhero as well. Just
a lawyer. He gets the dual life. This is the perfect guy for her.
This is perfect, man. I'm so happy, and I think Jose had told us that they did have like a background of a relationship in the books, so it's kind of funny to see, and it seems like they're cool. Just kind of like they're. That's why I love Jen. She's like, all right, it was what it was. She's not getting attached, but I think next time they see each other, they're going to the same exact spot. And by the way,
she'll be in Born Again.
Yes, 100%. Little lesson here that I forget about every single week, since this has just become the show that me and Sienna watch. AJ watched it as well. And the two characters, two superheroes, they got to see, they're like dancing together and they're naked and you see the clothes on the ground. And AJ goes, they're marrying each other, daddy. Which, the fact that he like caught the vibes of that scene and then he threw it into marriage, and I'm like,
that's so funny.
What have you seen that like you even have the kind of vibes of what they're doing? You should just be like, why are they dancing naked? He said they're marrying each other, which, hey, maybe down the road. So I'm kind of wondering like what AJ has seen right now, because he does have like, he's a 4-year-old, but he has like the brain of a 24-year-old. So I feel like AJ might have, I don't know what. I hope he's not on Barstool right now. That's the last thing.
Let's hope not. Yeah. Oh my God. And then she's like, all right. Her friend comes over. She's like, I'm very happy. She looks at the screen again. She's like, it's the episode before the finale. Like, I guess we're throwing a tag onto this one or whatever. And she goes to the gala. She actually, like, we see her enter the gala. And at this point, my girlfriend turned to me and she's like, is this like an extra long episode? We're going to get to see the gala now? And I was like, I don't know. She goes up to accept an award, and the LED screen behind her turns into like the Hulk King logo. And then we see the show take a very dark turn where it's like Josh was videotaping them having sex in the bedroom. Someone calls her a slut on the screen. It's like all these horrible, hateful messages. She doesn't know what to do. Everyone's like, what the fuck? So she kind of just fucking smashes the screen and takes it down, which triggers everyone in the room. They send the sirens out. Everyone starts running away from her like she's this Frankenstein monster. Kind of everything Bruce Banner told her was going to happen in episode 1 coming to fruition here. And she runs out. She like grabs the one guy by the throat. I think he was like the douchebag that asked her out on the date or whatever. Or maybe it wasn't.
It was a guy in a mask that she saw.
He was wearing a mask, and I thought maybe it was because he was at the thing. But maybe he pulled a mask. Maybe it wasn't. I don't think they revealed it was him. But there's a guy in a mask. She grabs him, thinking he's one of the guys, and like she's got guns pointed to her outside, and she just looks at the screen. And for the first time all season, the fourth wall break isn't like a joke. It's just like a, oh, I'm fucked. Yep. And then the episode ends. Great ending to the episode.
I loved Angry She-Hulk. I was like, that's this other one. It's like the CGI and the clapping and all that. I want to see. This is the first time I feel like she's actually hulked up and became what we saw out of Bruce when he would become the Hulk back in the day. So I loved it, and I thought the same thing. I'm like, this is what Bruce was talking about. He tried his hardest to get this side of her out and to push the limits. Apparently, like throwing some dirty laundry from your bedroom out there, that's the way to get Jen triggered. And I'll tell you, that was another scene I really wish I wasn't watching with my kids. I think they said they called her a slut too, and I'm just like, oh God, I'm gonna get a lot of questions after it's over. Just not fun for everybody there. Also, I love there was a few things when she's talking about. She's like, "The episode's over. That was pretty satisfying. I think we were talking orgasms there." So Jen's talking orgasms. I appreciate my girl Jen just being very out there. I think she said something like, "Is there gonna be a Red Hulk?" Did you hear that?
Yeah, she did. Yeah,
She
she
did,
mentioned a
right?
red. She was like, "What is this? A red Hulk?" Yeah. Ooh, a little
I
tease there.
like I like how they know how us nerds are talking. They know how everyone they're like by this
You
point.
drift off. You look at your phone for a second. You hear Red Hulk. You're like, "What?"
Wait, what? These intelligentsia guys, man, they are a fucking problem. They're
That's from the
dirty.
comics too. I didn't realize that. Like, I think Murdock runs Intelligentsia in the comics.
Oh, really? Oh shit. Okay. So we could have something there coming. And then Todd, I think, was the guy that she saw
Yeah.
at the thing.
Yeah.
And this is the cancellation episode. The white guy when he says Wakanda forever.
Oh yeah.
And it's like
He studied abroad in Wakanda. He said.
yeah, and I thought the same thing. I'm like, are you allowed to say Wakanda forever?
That was
That's
so
the
funny.
Wakandans word. That's the Wakandans
Tell
word.
you what, the casting in this show has been really, really good. Like the LeapFrog guy, this douchebag, like Josh, who you think is a good guy at first. I think the casting they pretty much nailed.
They have like a list, and it's just like douchebags, and it's just
Yeah.
like obvious douchebag, rich douchebag, douchebag that seems nice but is really a douchebag. That was so much casting that these people had to do. But yeah, they did actually do a pretty good job nailing all that. And
Good
our
job
guy Matt
casting douches.
and our guy Matt Murdock looks like he's always looks like an awesome hero, but when you put him next to all the douches we've had to deal with, he looks like a fucking angel sent from heaven above.
Also, some people were criticizing the yellow outfit. I thought it looked sick.
I feel like we're gonna get a lot of the old school outfit, like the red outfit. So
Yeah.
if
Oh
that's how
yeah.
they
That
wanted
in
to,
Born Again. Yeah, we're gonna get the
yeah,
red back. Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
I also my prediction is in Born Again, which I think is gonna have a completely different tone than this show. Obviously, it's gonna be darker, grittier. I think Jen will be in the show. She-Hulk will not be in the show. We'll never see She-Hulk, but we will see Jen.
Oh wow, I didn't even think of that as a potential option. Oh, you know what? I'm Team Jen though. I got to ride with her.
I
I'm
think he's
Team.
going out on a date with Jen in like one episode, and we'll get to see that their relationship is still like maybe they're not boyfriend and girlfriend, but when they're in town, they're hooking up. They're sending each other the "you up" text, So I think we'll see that in Born Again.
Shout out to Jen, just getting your fuck on, man. Nothing but
Yeah.
love for you, Jen. Do
Hopefully
your
you get
thing.
one on in the finale as well, Jen. We're
Yeah.
wishing the best for you, and we'll be back for the finale next week. If you're looking forward to it,
Finale
as well,
question
drop a
mark.
comment. Yeah, finale question mark, maybe the finale. Leave a comment below. Predictions for the finale. You think
Yep.
we're getting a Red Hulk? You think we're getting another cameo? Do you think we're getting Bruce Banner coming back down to give her a little pep talk? Anything you think is going to happen? And for the hashtag, I don't know. Leap for a guard frog.
Guard frog. Hashtag
Guard
guard
frog.
frog.
Hashtag
Yep.
guard frog if you made it to the end of the episode. We appreciate you for tuning in. If you're a House of the Dragons fan, make sure you tune into the channel immediately after the episode on Sunday night. We'll be doing a recap, and we'll see you then.
See you then, guys.